Hey there everyone and welcome back. So I made a video about using one of my video tutorial designs and I made a little level called Hexacubes. And then there were two requests by two different people. So one request was to show how I made the background effect and then the other request was to actually show how I made the level. So I'm gonna divide all the things that I did in some chapters, if I can, and show you everything and how I made the things in the level. So anyways, let's get started with the first chapter, the design. So when we open up the level, we will usually want to color it somewhere gray, like really dark gray, and also make the background blank. So first of all, to make the design, you first need to make a layout. So I made a little layout right here, so I'll start with the design. So what I want to do is go to layer 1, and if you have watched the video about how to make 3D cubes and rectangles, then you might probably know how to make it, but if you don't, let me show you. So a cube consists of 3 sides, the left side, the right side, and the top. So for the left side, we're gonna use the long slopes, these ones right here, and make something like this. Now we're gonna use these objects and fill the spaces, like this. Now, this is gonna be the left side, so we're gonna color it somewhere dark gray. Then this one is the right side, so we're gonna color it somewhere light gray. And for the top, we're gonna use these 4 slopes right here and make something like this. Why did I turn on free move? I don't know. And here's the top. You can just keep it white, but I would really want to make it really light gray. And there you go. You made 3D pillar in my case. So if you have only 2 blocks or 3 blocks, then what I usually do is copy the whole thing and then scale it down. So for 2 blocks I usually scale it down to 0.5, and then it should actually combine pretty well. But you might need to move it so like the top slopes are over the objects, and then the bottom slopes and everything other, which is here, is at the bottom. And the same goes here. And then we might actually need to do something like this, then select the whole thing and move by half a block. And there you go. You can copy the whole thing and stuff like that. But what I didn't include yet is an obstacle which consists of 5 objects. So I'm gonna add it somewhere right here, somewhere 6, like that, and then somewhere at the bottom. So right here you cannot make a cube, so you can make a hexagon. So let me show you how to make a hexagon. So I'm gonna copy this right here, then move it right here, and then move the right side to the right side. So for the middle, on the top part, we just, place the same thing like this. And then in the middle part, its color needs to be in the middle between the dark gray and light gray. So let's make a new color channel and move it somewhere right here. And there you go. You made a hexagon. And now it's time for reverse gravity. So what I do is copy this, move it up here, and then I use these slopes right here and right here, and then these objects right here, and color them how are they intended. No, this is not the intended way. There we go. And then just remove the top part. Like this. And I will usually move this somewhere more further away and just fill the space. Like this. And for these ones, which are only 2 blocks or 3 blocks, I did the same thing right here where I scaled it down to 0.50, but with the reverse gravity. So do like this, move it to the middle, scale it down to 0.50, and then move it so it actually aligns. And also, move this somewhere a bit. Select these objects and move them by half a block. Like this. And then for the 4 objects, we're gonna copy this to speed up the process. And then do like this and like this. And we have another 2 block obstacle, and we're gonna copy this pillar right here and move it here. Now the design is complete. What I else added is movement. But first I have to remove these objects, you know. No, not remove, but make them invisible. Like this. And then add them to a group and use alpha trigger to make them transparent. Fade time 0, opacity 0. Oh, and I didn't assign a group ID. No, I don't need music. Like this. And remember, select everything and don't fade. Remember. And now, check the results. It should look like this. So now for the movement, what I do is go to layer all, and then select all of these and group them individually, you know, group them individually, which took me a lot of time, but if you want the movement to your objects, then you do what you gotta do. When I'm done grouping, I select all the bottom obstacles, like this, and move them by 1 block down, like this, and then the top obstacles, we're gonna move them by 1 block upwards, like that. Now we're gonna use the move triggers, so I'm gonna place the move trigger right here, and the group ID right here is number 3. So I'm gonna move Y by 10, which means 1 block upwards. Easing is gonna be ease in and out with easing rate about 3, like this, and move time 0.7. No, actually 0.5, let it be. And then move by 5 blocks towards the left. Now let's do the same thing here. Make sure the line like is going through the side, left side of the object. Target group ID 4 and move it by 5 blocks to the left. And then for the upwards, like reverse gravity obstacles, move Y by -7, which means 1 block down. Right here is gonna move again upwards. And now it should look like this. So, we're done with the design. Now it's time for the orbs and pads. So I'm gonna go to layer 2, and for the orbs, I used gradient objects, the spherical ones. These ones right here. Place them inside of every orb, and select them all, and move them by 2 times here with these arrows, and 2 times here with these to the right. And then I'm gonna select a new color channel, make it black, and opacity somewhere 0.30. And also, let's make them T1 layer. And now it should add a little bit of shadowing. But there were some other paths that aren't here, so I'm gonna showcase them just for example. So you saw some other paths like these when you watched my video, like this. And then there was one pad right here. So what I did here is grab this gradient object, select new color channel, somewhere like blue, and blending for the blue pads. But for the pink pads, I just choose this pink and blending. And it adds some glow to the pads. And then the second thing that I did is used the biggest spherical gradient objects. So I moved them by half a block downwards. Like that. And then choose the same blending color. That is to every pad. And for this one, it's pink. Then I select all of these spherical gradient objects, T1 layer, and now you can see actual glow to these to these pads. So that's how you make orbs and pads in my level called Hexacubes. Now it's time for the third chapter, the background effect. So I'm gonna go to the layer 3, and let's start with the background effect. So what I did here is copied. Why am I building? So copy this. Is it actually gonna be that hard? Like that. Copy, paste it. Move to layer 3. And now we have this. So now what are we gonna do is make this, the left side, even darker than the background. And then this one a little bit lighter, well, brighter than the background. But this is one way. The way I used to make some colors like darker and brighter is I made copy color background and then brightness by 0.1 down. And then for this one, copy color background and then 0.1 more brightness. And now it should make something like this. We're gonna group it remove this group and link it, or chain it, group it, however you want to call it. Now we just copy this, move by 5 blocks to the right, 2 blocks up, like that, and then just copy the whole thing again. And now we must make the covers as well. So I use the same top as for all the 3D cubes and obstacles, everything like that, but I'm gonna actually color it, copy color background. So copy a color background, and that's basically it. And then sometimes you cannot see where even the object is, for example. So what I do is turn off preview mode and then select this, chain it maybe afterwards, and then just copy like this. I'm also gonna copy this right here. So we made the first part. Now what I'm gonna do is select this, copy paste it, and then Z order -6. And we're gonna remove the group, and this is gonna be the cover. We're gonna also color it, copy color background, but first we need to group all of these, well, objects. So you must group them individually. When you're done with that, we're gonna take the cover and cover every of these objects. And also, I forgot one thing, which is to make these Z order -5, and then these ones Z order -4. Now we're gonna group them all in one group so they log to player X. Move it somewhere here, then move trigger, group ID 19, I think, yes, group ID 19, log to player X, and move time, who cares. So now let's make the wave. Oh wait, actually wait, maybe not log to player X, but 9999 move X, and then 115 seconds move time, so it actually moves a little bit towards you. So now it's time for the wave effect. So remember the group ID for this one. So it's group ID 12. We're gonna make it move upwards by 2 blocks, and move time is gonna be 1 second, and I'm gonna use sign in and out easing. Now I'm gonna move the copy paste and move the move trigger 2 blocks to the right, and then just do this process until we reach group ID 18. Okay, we're done with making them upwards, but they also need to go downwards, you know. So what I do is move this move trigger and then assign the start point where I need them to move down. Somewhere like this. And then move them by 2 blocks downwards. Now copy this. So the the move trigger with the group ID 12 is like its line is between the group 17 and group 18 move trigger. Okay, and now we can check out how it looks. Oh, and also forgot again to make these all be for Z layer. Now it should look. As you can see, there's the wave effect. That's how you make the wave effect. Pretty cool. And now for the last one is the flashing lights, I might call them. So I go to the Z layer, layer 4, and choose these objects right here, and I'm gonna scale them by, well, scale by 2. Like this. Move somewhere like this, copy paste, 1, 2, copy paste, 1, 2, copy paste, 1, 2, copy paste, 1, 2, and like this, copy paste it again, so we make a little bit bigger the overlay, and copy paste and just make a big overlay, so we don't see like little cuts. Group it, then T3 Z layer, and don't fade. Now we're gonna color it black and blending with opacity 0.4. And what I'm gonna use is pulses. I'm gonna pulse every time the player hits the yellow orb, and it actually makes the yellow color as it represents the orb color. Fade out somewhere, 1 second, and then group ID 20 because it is the overlay's group ID. Copy paste and then move again where the other orb meets, and then move another pulse trigger to the blue orb and make it flash blue. Now I'm gonna place the move trigger somewhere right here, group ID 20, and lock to player X. And move time 999, I don't care. And now you should get something like this. As you can see. And that's how you make a level something like this from my video called Made the Level using one of my video tutorials, Hexacubes. So thank you guys for watching this long tutorial video about how I made the level Hexacubes. So if you did enjoy, like and also subscribe to my channel, and see you in another video. Bye!